Okay, so Alina and Anton. This is from Love is Blind, season 9. It was only 3 couples that made it to the altar, okay, you guys. So anyway, had a feeling that Alina didn't like Anton once she got out of the pods because, it seemed as though she didn't like the way he drank. One time he was like, well, it was 12 cans of beer, and she was just doing the math on it, and she was like, well, if I drank two, then why is there why is there none left? So her, I guess her, the way she saw him in the pods totally was mismatched. And even though he, was looking for a wife, and I really don't have much to say about Anton because it's like, I mean, yeah, he lives that life. He lives a life that, but she didn't like the way he ate. She didn't like the way he partied. She didn't like the way that, he drank. So, yeah, when she got to the altar, she was like, yeah, this is nice, but no. Megan and Jordan. Okay, so um, Megan and Jordan, they also, were due to, go to the altar. But what I appreciate most about Megan, she stopped it before she went down the aisle. I mean, you should know by then whether or not you're going to do this or not. Anyway, Megan was just like, you know what? I need somebody that's going to be able to travel with me, and I don't think you could do that. I don't really think you could do that because you got this kid, and Luca or something, and and the little kid, is blessed as the baby is. He is going to interfere with my plans for you and I. And also, Megan's used to the finer things in life, and Jordan couldn't supply that for her, and it seems as though, if they did go into this marriage, it would have been a lot of conflict because Jordan felt undercut by, what Megan made, and what the things that she has already accomplished and things like that. He made that a statement quite a bit, and so, it's good that she stopped it right then and there. He had nothing else to say. It was like, okay, well, I told you that, I got this kid, and I'm gonna, of course you should prioritize the child, of course, but it's just not a good fit for Megan. It's a good thing that she found that out, and that she didn't walk down the aisle superficially, just to get up there and say, you know what, I'm a runaway bride. No, she didn't do that. So I'm really proud of her for doing that much. So good for you, Megan. All right, to the last couple. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I don't know if it's just me, but I think that, Edmund had a case of, some kind of, he's on some kind of spectrum or something. And I'm not sure. This is not deflammatory. I'm just going by what I saw. Okay. I think that he seemed like a very nice person and everything like that. But when I saw him lay in the middle of the floor in the men's room, in the men's area, and lick the floor, I was like, okay, that's very telling. And then on top of that, doing those high jumps, I must confess, I'm a little envious of how high he can really jump. That's impressive. Okay. He's just, a very energetic guy, and he seems sweet. Maybe too sweet for Calibria. I believe I'm saying her name right. That's a name. Very unique. But all during their dating in the pods, I was just saying to myself, I don't know if she's going to really, necessarily like him when she sees him, when it's revealed, and everything. But she seemed to really like him, and I was shocked by that. And so I do believe that there are certain people who come on these shows to be seen. She's a beautiful woman and everything like that. Totally opposite of what I would think of the kind of woman to be with Edmund. However, who says who belongs to who? Sometimes opposites attract. Excuse me. But you know what? After a while, when she didn't even give him any sex, didn't sleep together, let's say it like that, and when she, was adamant about that, and the fact that, every time he brought it up, she would just like go into this whole frenzy of, oh, like really get angry, and so when he met up with the guys and he was like, yeah, it seems like everybody else in here has sex except for me. It's really, it was killing him, honey. It was killing him because he wanted to get it. You know what I'm saying? Understandably so. Everybody else got it. So, it was, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this couple? Because maybe I'm seeing things wrong, but I feel as though she was there just to look pretty, to come down the aisle, show everybody what she looks like as a bride. And, she was like, oh, I love you, baby. I love you, baby, all the way up to the last part, to the last moment, you know. And then she says, you know what, I love you and I will always love you, but I just can't do this. And you need somebody that's 100%. Well, if you knew that he needed somebody 100%, girl, why did you even come down the aisle? Why didn't y'all have that conversation? Okay? Love is Blind is an experiment. And for some people, it has worked. But obviously, it has not worked more than it's worked. It's very entertaining, but it exposes people. And so, I don't know. So that's the way I feel about it. Edmund, he was really hurt. He had his teacher there. She seemed like a great, role model for him. You can tell that, he was embraced by these people, when his own parents were not showing up and everything. So, it's a nice, he has a very compelling backstory. And so anyway, I wish him well. I wish Calibria well, but I do feel as though she was there for a come up. That's just my opinion. What do you guys think?